their way into that final, and that's where the race they all want to be.
A couple of names here you probably wouldn't expect to be in this repechage, but that's the cutthroat nature of Summer of Surf racing at this point. Tian Raymond's there. We head further down the line, and it's really difficult. The girls are normally used to just going around in a heat, in a semi. This is one of the girls we wouldn't expect. Came oh so close in the last round. Now she's fighting for just a spot in the top 21 girls. Ski first, and that start all important.
Well, have a look for Devon Halligan, Josh. I expect her to get off the beach fast. She's been paddling her ski extremely well, and have a look at that, straight onto her ski, and she is our leader early on.
Straight in the centre of your screen there, green ski. And Danielle McKenzie, she was last summer's ski race champion, so expect her to get out to a lead. It's not the most important racing. We're just talking about a top 6 here. You probably don't want to use too much energy because the final's coming up later, but it's getting into that sort of easy pace and just trying to qualify that can sometimes cause an upset.
Well, Josh, the girls get very nervous. They know there's only 6 going through, particularly these girls caught behind at the moment. They start to panic, they start to rush things, and that's where the mistakes start to creep in.
And for the first time this summer, we've seen a couple of waves as the girls go up and over, and a few are going to get caught underneath it. So drama already, a couple of roll skis left and right, and there's carnage. The opening leg of the opening race, and there is drama aplenty here. It looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 7 girls are out. The rest of the girls are swimming. Some of the big names as well. Tian Raymond's going backwards. We've got skis washing in, and little old Fingal Bay's got a lot of bite in it. Let's have a look here. It looks like Hannah Scully just sneaks under. 1 or 2 of the girls trying to get under there, up and over. And what about that? They've copped that on the lap. A big back shot, ski into the air, and there is drama aplenty already in Fingal Bay, and this is just the repechage.
Well, Spencer was lucky enough just to creep through that one, Josh. Devon Halligan up over the top, and then there were 5 or 6 who copped it on the chest. Absolutely punished. We see skis up in the air, and that's what we like to see, a little bit of action. These girls certainly aren't out of the race, though.
We've had 2 rounds of flat surf and the first race at Fingal Bay, and there are waves on and there are sloughs everywhere. Have a look at the people going backwards. A couple of skis knock a few others over, flying through the air. That's what we love to see on the beach, but you've got to hold on to them, don't you?
Well, Josh, the skis we saw go back to the beach is going to make it very difficult for those girls to get through, and, well, have a look at that. Our usual suspect, Danielle McKenzie, out in front, leading the way, keeping herself out of that chaos.
You've got to stay out of trouble, that's for sure. I'm almost going to say it's race over for a couple of those girls. It's a bit easier to negotiate on the boards and in the swim than it is on the ski, and have a look at that. They're not even back at the skis yet. You can see the girls in the background running across the bank there, and it doesn't look big, but it must pack a punch, Jack, because it gets really shallow out on that bank, and it's coming from deep, deep water out to sea as you look out off the island there, and it must really be coming down hard.
Well, when it hits that shallow water, Josh, it stands up very quick, and we didn't even notice some of those waves rolling through. You couldn't see the lines as such, and then all of a sudden the girls are in a lot of trouble as Danielle McKenzie starts to work on one on the way back, and watch these little runners start to build as they hit that bank and make their way into the shallow water.
Well, if there's drama on the way out, you know there's going to be a little bit of drama on the way in. Holding these waves on the ski when they start to stand up is going to be crucial. So it's not just about avoiding the waves on the way out. Sometimes it's about avoiding the steep, tough waves on the way back. And the girls, they seem to have done it very, very well at the moment. There's 3 on this one, 5 on the wave behind. So 8 doesn't go into 6, that's for sure. 2 will miss out from here, and Danielle McKenzie's doing all the right things, and this is what I'm talking about. They're not big waves, but they're just enough to cause that heart rate to go up.
Well, a little bit bigger one out the back, Josh, for those back markers chasing, and they want to make sure they keep control of that ski, get it back to the beach, otherwise this gap is going to blow right open.
McKenzie from Heinegger, Scott in there should be very happy with that. Danielle McKenzie still doing the job. Not a problem at all. She'll head in onto the board leg, which is arguably her best. She's done a bit of paddling around the world in the last couple of weeks, headed to Fiji for the World Paddleboarding Championships, did very well there, finished 2nd behind Harriet Brown. So expect this lead to extend on Naomi Scott. Scott will try and bring her back in the swim.
Well, Scott's been paddling extremely well, Josh. We watched her paddle the other week against Harriet Brown, and she actually led Harriet Brown and really took it up to Harriet, who's one of the best board paddlers in the country and one of the best iron women in the country.
You can be one of the best board paddlers on the planet, but sometimes you can't beat Mother Nature as Danielle McKenzie goes up and through, and she's almost lapped one of the ski paddlers who just peels out at the bottom of the screen there. Look at the rating go up as they see a little gap here. It's really closed up as Oh, Naomi Scott pushes through one. Danielle McKenzie, she sees a little bit of green water. It's the safety zone there. Once you're in that, you know you're all right. She's up and over, and she's probably praying the girls behind her get cleaned up.
Well, you'd be hoping for a couple of sets to start to roll through now and pick off the girls, really allow her to relax out in front, get her breath back, take it easy to get herself through to that final.
So that is our top 7 at the moment. We've dropped one. We had 8 together off the end of the ski. We've now only got 7. So one by one, they're dropping away. And one of these girls won't get into our final after the next swim leg. So still McKenzie out in front. Scott's there. Heiniger's there as well. It looks like Hannah Scully, Devon Halligan. So some of the big names, some of the names we're used to seeing in these finals, they're just battling for a start in the final at this point.
Well, Josh, it is very tough in the repechage to make sure that you get yourself a spot. And those heats are extremely tough also. You expect that the girls are going to be in that top 5. But, you know, in surf like this, that doesn't always happen. They've found themselves in this repechage. They've got to make sure that they work now to secure themselves a spot in that final.
Well, it's tough for these girls. It makes racing the heats that little bit more cutthroat. They've got to try and get through there, and if they make a mistake, they then have to go back and race this sort of round, and it's tough on them. Something most of them have never experienced before. A first in the summer of surf, a first in a lot of surf life-saving circles, and they're loving it at the moment. As Danielle McKenzie goes a little bit wider than the rest of the field, I think she sees something maybe the rest of the girls don't.
These girls are starting to work on these swells, Josh, and looking at it earlier, you can see those waves and lines really starting to build out towards the swim cans, and the girls are working on a little runner now. They're going to have to work hard to get down that, and this is one that Danielle McKenzie should pick up and hold through to the beach.
Well, have a look at the changing colour there. That's where it goes from very deep to very shallow. The green water's the deep stuff. The white water is where all the sand gets mixed up as Naomi Scott sits back and waits, and she knows she's going to be coming in this one later. Oh, all the girls coming in late. Pull the noses up, girls. You don't want to go down the mine, and they all seem to do it very, very well here. So skills are plenty, and still one out in front, 6 on the wave behind, and one of these girls is going to miss out.
Well, the only way you learn that, Josh, the only way you get that right is to do it. And repetition, repetition, repetition. These girls spend time out in the surf all day, all week, and that's why their skills are so good.
Let's talk about Kirsty Hardstaff. She's in that second group there, and she's from WA, come all the way over. The West Australians are doing a great job here. They've made a concerted effort to come to the East Coast to race in the best surf sports competition in the world, and she's really doing a good job in both the finals so far, and she's desperate to make it a third.
Josh, as we just look back at that transition before, Danielle McKenzie is that far in front. She's just lapped teammate, clubmate from Northcliffe, Grace Rosado, and Danielle is working extremely hard. There she is working across that bank as Grace makes her way up over that wave on the board. Grace was one of the girls that got hit at the start and lost her ski back to the beach.
Emma Dick trying to catch up there as she heads into the water. A long way to go for Emma Dick if she wants to be in this final, but it's got to be tough. Grace Rosado, one of the best young up-and-coming iron women, but one wave at the start of this race has really ruined her weekend, but she'll be back, no doubt at all, as McKenzie and the rest of the field battle to get across this bank, and we've spoke about it in the opening 2 legs, but the water movement as Bonnie Hancock fires up, tries to do some catching up as the girls all head in and across. But have a look at the water movement there. There's so much aerated water. That's the white stuff you're seeing in there. When those waves break, it's picking sand up. It's the toughest place to swim in an Iron Woman race.
Well, you can see it, Josh, and the girls working on that shallow bank, it's pulling them back towards the beach. All the water at the moment is really working through to the beach, and what we usually see is a rip here, but it seems fairly straight. There doesn't seem to be an outlet of water going out to sea anywhere along the beach at this stage.
Well, what about the gap has absolutely disappeared in just a matter of moments. Danielle McKenzie went in with 75 to 80 metre lead. It is now down to 5 or 10 metres tops, and she was flying across that bank early, but maybe just as it got a little bit deeper, some of these girls started duck diving, swimming. Devon Halligan, one of the best in the business in that mid-depth water there, has closed the gap. She's on her feet, and now what was a race of 6 girls for the last 5 spots as a big set rolls through now becomes 7 girls, maybe 8 girls girls for just 6 spots.
Well, Halligan's used her strength to her advantage. You know, she is one of the bigger, stronger, taller girls in the competition, and she knew if she worked hard across that bank, she could really start to peg back Danielle McKenzie.
And it's about doing work early so you don't have to do it later. You don't want to be waiting on a wave in the final leg of an Ironwoman to try and get through. And Mackenzie's lead has not only just been cut, it's gone. She's been caught by the rest of the field here, and now she's back in the thick of the action, and it's not the place you want to be. She's gone on her own the entire way, probably thought she was comfortable and home. Now she's in a dogfight for the final spot in this Ironwoman final, and the girls are making their way out. It's been a very quick swim so far. They've absolutely flown out to that first can, and Naomi Scott, the uber swimmer, she's so good, loves to get into this swim leg and make ground up, and she's not only gone up to our leaders, she's gone straight past them and almost off the front.
Well, you know, in a repechage event, if Naomi Scott is anywhere near the front going into the swim, she's going to swim away from the rest of the pack. The way that she has been swimming the last 2 years is well beyond her years, and she's going to be a phenomenal competitor for years to come.
I'm going to throw it out there. She could swim as well as a lot of the boys in this Ironman final. They're good. She's incredible, that's for sure, and she's shown it here. Went in mid-pack, has swum away from half the group and onto the front of the rest of it there, and the rest of this field's trying to hold on. Danielle McKenzie is going backwards at a rate of knots, as it looks like Devon Halligan swims up and past her. Maybe Emma Dick as well. She's starting to swim into the mix. Hannah Scully's trying hard, and they're really spread out at the moment. So this race is going to be decided. And Jack, do you expect the final to play out like this? A couple of girls break away, but it'll come back together in the swim.
Well, I believe it'll come down to their skills, Josh, and whether or not the girls can get themselves out on the ski in that first leg is where it's really going to open up. I mean, there's still plenty of time to come back through, and the surf is going to play a big part, but if the girls can get their skills right, they'll set this race up right from the beginning.
So who would you rather be? Would you rather be one of the old heads, the Crystal Smiths, the Courtney Hancocks, the Danielle McKenzies, who've got the great ski skills, they've done it for a lot of years, or would you rather be a Naomi Scott? Probably doesn't have the skills just because she's a little bit younger, but man, she's got a swim leg to bring it home if she does get behind.
Well, Josh, I tell you who I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be me out there, because I know these girls would dust me up.
Oh, they're quick and they're on a wave, that's for sure. Have a look at the shots there. We ride on with them. It looks like maybe Danielle McKenzie's missed that one, and there's another wave out the back, so drama there for McKenzie. She just ducks up, tries to push into the white water, and the race on at the front isn't that important because these 3 girls, they'll possibly be through. It's the race on the next wave. We've got 4, but will they swim up on them now? So drama here. The girls are in the deep, deep gutter there, and this wave's brought the rest of the field up. So Danielle McKenzie has gone from a mile in front to not even on the second wave. She is out at this point. Devon Halligan up and through. Naomi Scott, very, very strong performance there. These girls won't sprint hard. They'll save it up for the final. So Devon Halligan's through, Naomi Scott's there as well. Now this is where things start to get interesting. Ella Heiniger, good performance there. So a couple from Burleigh. Hardstaff's there, up and around as we wait to see them come across the line, sprinting very, very hard. Scott's there, Heiniger. Hardstaff across as well. Emma Dick's come from the clouds, and Olivia Heaton is the last one through. What about that? Hannah Scully misses out today, and so does Danielle McKenzie. That's her running up there. What about that final swim leg?
Well, Josh, I've not seen anything like it. Danielle McKenzie had the option to try and swim herself or jump herself onto a whitewater wave and took the option to duck underneath. So whether or not she thought she was in a better position, whether or not she thought the other girls weren't there, I'm not so sure.
Well, she's paid the price and will not be in our final.
Yeah, exactly. We've raced the last 2 summer surfs in pretty flat conditions, and to have finally some swell, it's amazing. Oh, it is. I race because I enjoy racing, so I just like getting out there and seeing how I go. So I don't find it nerve-wracking, but I think some people do.